This was last night. I thought it was a bit of a joke. So there is a podcast with The Athletic called Talk of the Devils. They were doing a show in Cork last night in the international break. And it came out on stage from Laurie Whitwell, apparently, that he said that Amorim had a go at Manuel Ugarte in the same meeting where he told Garnacho to go about finding a new club. So this was more or less straight after the Europa League final. And he said, quote, "You're not the same player that you were at Sporting." So what we've essentially got here is a manager that has fallen out with Ugarte, doesn't like Menu, and is picking Bruno out of position and Casemiro, who we're trying to sell in midfield. That's the story. Now, Savage says straight away, I don't believe this. What I'm going to say right at the start here is why. We can debate this. We can talk about what it means for the midfield. We can talk about what it means for Amorim. I've seen a lot of people saying Ugarte should have said back to Amorim, "You're the same you were at Sporting. You're not the same as you're not the same manager you were at Sporting either." So, that would have been a good comeback, but probably would have been the end of his Man United career. But what I find a little bit strange about this is that why is it taken from June, July, August, September, and half of October, 4.5 months to come out? If this information was known at the time, why would you sit on it to the second international break in October? Why put it out? Like Thomas says, it seems a weird time for it to come out. And where is it come out from? Because when I think about The Athletic, I think they have become, I've seen a lot of United, it was the Sesko thing was in that. I think they have fell off a little bit in relation to their reporting. I think The Athletic behind a subscription was always considered to be, a little bit elitist, dare I say. But since the sale, they seem to become a little bit clickbait. And this sort of feeds into that. I don't see their journalists around Man United as a Pratthurst or someone like that, and yet this just feels just like the sort of thing that would come out from him. It's 4 months late. It's a terrible time for it to come out. I think it's good to go out doing live shows. We've done them in Dublin as well, but it just seems a little bit like, let's keep this back for that audience, and it's going to come out. It's very provocative. Why has it taken so long to come out? Has to be the question. And where has it come from? And I would suspect, in fairness to Laurie Whitwell, if he has said this, I don't think he's the sort of person to make it up. It was only yesterday I was talking about how he messaged Turki Al-Sheikh about the deal. So obviously has got good connections. So who has told him this? That he is confident that he can say it as fact and even put the quote out. And again, you sort of look at it and you go, there is again a player in that room who is giving that information out to a journalist who isn't Manuel Ugarte and who isn't Garnacho. So, you start to take your pick again and you start to think, I guarantee I can get that down to 5 as to where it's come from, and I guarantee there's a very high chance they've got a British passport, as per usual, because they just can't keep their gob shut. And that's the problem. I mean, I don't dispute that this might have happened, and I think I want to talk about that. I think I do.